Welcome to our knitting space. If you're a new listener, hello, hi, come on in, welcome, grab a cup of tea. If you're a returning listener, hey, welcome back. Join the conversation. We will see how crazy this week goes. Thanks for giving us a try, and thanks for listening to us again. This week we're hoping to cover what's in our cup, cool threads, though we're quickly getting to the point in the season where we might stop doing that for a while. Because it got nice outside. Woolly workings, yarn on the go, fiber flubs, so little time, events, and a book review. So, Diana, you drank all the good stuff, so now you're down to water, aren't you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's what you get for having all the fancy drinks before we record.
Well, I did have a vanilla coffee milkshake from White Star Diner.
God, I'm so jealous. Soon I will be out and about.
Very soon. Excellent.
Yeah.
You can go have one of the 35 fancy milkshake flavors.
They have 35 milkshake
35. They don't even have plain vanilla, it's Mexican vanilla.
What?
Or vanilla coffee.
You need to take me to this place when I am well again. And then I need to have way too much dairy for my system.
Yes.
And complain like a small child all the way home that my tummy hurts.
Worth it.
Totally worth it.
You can have like a raspberry balsamic milkshake.
Wow, that actually sounds really tasty.
It was really different. It was really good. I think it's not a regular flavor, but it's
Nifty.
very interesting.
I'm totally game for that. Because, why not? I will try everything once sometimes. Sometimes I won't. I am having, among my usual 50 billion beverages, a random tea bag selection from the Red Bowl. For anybody who hasn't actually visited my physical location, when the tea boxes get pretty empty, I sort of dump the contents of the tea boxes, because they're tea bags and in their own individual bags, into a small red ceramic bowl that you can just sort of fish through and find a random flavor. They're the odds and ends, leftovers. So I had an orange cinnamon spice from Twinings today is what I've got going on in my Sailor Moon cup.
It's a pretty sweet cup.
Just in case you thought I was an adult, I'm not. So it's light pink on the inside and black on the outside with metallic paint. And of course all the Sailor Moon characters and the Sailor Moon logo. I grew up when Sailor Moon was big, so my dad would download it for us overnight because it was dial-up where I lived, and also dial-up was new and it was fancy, and we could watch Sailor Moon in the morning while we had breakfast before we went to school. I also remember when Doom was released because I was old enough to remember that.
I remember neither of these things. Well, I was aware that Sailor Moon was a thing. It was not a thing that I was into.
Oh man, totally watched it. It was great. I loved it.
I had some friends that were into it, but it was never my thing.
I'm gonna rewatch it. This might go badly for me. I think it's time. But no, that's an overextended what's in our cup because I had to describe my cup today.
It's a pretty good cup.
It was worth it. All right, cool threads, my dear.
I have only worn one thing because it has been getting so nice.
It is 16 degrees above zero in the Celsius department today, and I believe when I went outside to get rid of the garbage, I went, do we have to record? Could we not just go to Starbucks? Can that not just be a thing?
Yeah, it's a good day for being outside.
It's gorgeous.
The only thing I have worn in the past week is my Lindsay slouch because it's a very lightweight hat.
Absolutely.
And I really only wore it because my hair was misbehaving and looked terrible, so I put a hat on it.
Well, you've been doing that hair challenge, so it would make the hat difficult for some of those hairstyles, because my goodness, some of those braids are elaborate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that last one.
That
took over an hour.
It looked freaking amazing. And then my brain went, I don't even want to think about how long it took you to braid all that hair.
It was every bit as complicated as it looked.
Yeah. Hey, I did respond to your demand for awe and wonder with awe and wonder.
Yes, I appreciated your awe and wonder. Kind of makes the arm ache worth it.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of braids. I have been wearing my coffee shop shawl because it's done, so it has to go out while it can. Woohoo! It's gone out to school because it went to, I wouldn't say it's junior high, I'd say it's an elementary school with a junior high attached to it. So it went to go talk to some grade 7 kids about being blind, or going blind, or visually impaired, whatever terminology you prefer to use for it. It's also gone grocery shopping. It's gone to a book fair. My coffee shop, it's gone to a doctor's appointment. My coffee shop shawl is getting around, man. Whew.
Wow.
I leave the house, I take it with me.
That's pretty good.
I'm really attached to it. I'm already thinking, I need to make another one. Maybe like a fingering weight.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be just nice and delicate looking?
Yes.
If I did the fingering weight, not tasseled though. Because I feel the tassels would be too heavy at the bottom of the fingering weight one.
Possibly.
Yeah. Where I find it's perfect on the worsted weight that I've currently got the completed one in. But I'm thinking seriously need to buy some yarn for, because I need more yarn. I'd do the coffee shop shawl again in a fingering weight. I think would be great. In the watermelon cotton colors I want to buy. Because I need shades of green and pink and black for like a watermelon shawl.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Doesn't everybody?
In my mind, yes. And that's 100% cotton and fingering weight, so that's actually a summer shawl. Ha! Look at how my brain just put that together. I'm a genius.
That'd be an amazing summer night shawl.
God, it'd be so pretty and so colorful, and my mom would be so offended to go out in public with me. This has to happen.
Your mother is offended by bright colors?
My mom's like, she judges me for owning a white winter coat, which is fair. A lot of people judge me for owning a white winter coat. Here I'm making a white shawl. Violent shades of orange. Well, you judge me because every time we're at one of the local yarn shops, I pick up that same massive skein of orange Woolmizer yarn. Yeah, like that $80, 1,700 yard skein. And I keep going, I need this in my life. And it's like a range between fiery orange and like pumpkin harvest orange. And I am a 5'10" tall woman. I am not small by any stretch of the imagination. So just imagine this sheer volume of big, like cardigan, orangey striped thing on me. And I'd wear it and I'd be so happy. Everybody would be able to see me. Which is fine, I don't care. Alright, so that leaves Woolly Workings. My dear, what have you been working on?
I felt like I worked on so much stuff this week, and then I sat down to write show notes, and it turns out I've actually only worked on 3 things.
Well, they were pretty big things.
I guess the reason I think I've been doing so much stuff is I've been doing pretty well with keeping up on the 365 days of Granny Squares. I've done most of the week's squares. I've fallen less behind this week, is what I have done. No catching up is occurring. I've fallen less behind.
I really shouldn't laugh at you because I understand how big of a process that is, and I had like 10 squares to catch up on, 14 squares to catch up on. I can't even imagine.
I've got like 60 squares to catch up on.
Yeah, because we're at 122 today?
Yeah, and I'm on square 64.
Well, okay.
Or 65, something like that. Mid-60s.
Sure.
Yeah.
Christmas is gonna suck for you if you're not caught up by then.
I may only have 300 squares. And I'm okay with this.
Okay.
300 squares is still a respectable number.
It is. I signed on to do one a day, and outside of the surgery, which I wasn't sure I'd have to do or not when I signed on for it, I have been one a day. So I am recovering from my health issues, so hey, that's all that matters. It also helps that I know how much of a pain in the butt it is to fall behind and have to work and catch up, so I get up in the morning, I have my breakfast, I start my work. Before I'm allowed to do anything else, I must crochet that square. So all of the other stuff I want to work on has to wait till I've crocheted that square.
I find it's, because I've been, I did like 3 streams in the last week.
I know, I think
Twitch
I've been there
streams.
for 2 of them.
So, yeah, because I streamed some Overwatch one night.
Okay.
That was not knitting. But I feel like streaming while I work on the squares has been helpful, because it's like, oh, I'm bored of the square, I want to go do something else. Oh, but I'm streaming, so I should, stay here and keep streaming.
Finish my square.
Yeah.
Well, you'll eventually learn how to not single crochet and a double crochet, and that'll help a bunch.
Yes, or not, miss stitches or chains, or,
Okay,
pay better attention to the pattern.
But you'll miss all the fiber flubs if you do that.
That is streaming on twitch.tv/firewaterandfiber.
Oh, yes.
Spelled
Name drop.
Spelled ER, not RE. Spelled the American way, not the
Canadian
British way?
Not the British way?
I don't know. Which way is the Canadian way? Do we do ER or RE?
I think it depends on the person you ask.
How British that person is?
Yep.
I
Or
went for
how
ER.
how American their upbringing is.
I went for ER because the RE thing just sounds stupid to me. I
That's
can handle
totally
I can handle the extra U's we put in stuff.
You can handle the extra U's.
I
I
can-
don't think it's an inappropriate amount of U's going in our language, but okay.
I can handle the extra U's. I can those make sense to me, but like theatra and fibra and centra just those don't make sense to me. What have you been working on?
Many things, because I love casting on 50 billion projects all at once. It's my favorite. I literally have stuff I've just casted on. I couldn't stop myself. I had the yarn. They're in bags. It's on needles. And I have done nothing but startup rows. And then gone, great, set it down, started something else. Why? I don't know. But that's what I've done. I have been working on my 365. I did a full 7 days because I'm caught up now. So I only have seven a week to do, so 1 a day. Which is good on all days except for days when Mr. B is coming to visit, because then I try to do some other stuff and I always run out of time. And he doesn't help me count. He just randomly spits out numbers. You were not helping.
Oh, the best helper.
That's one way of phrasing it.
Mine likes to tug on my yarn when I'm trying to knit.
Yes, I am so glad mine does not do that.
Their nephew knows not to do that.
Their nephew will be 5 this month.
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it says anything good, but it says something. I've been working on my Happy Hands Fingerless Mitts by Jennifer V, the blogger. You can find her at the Craft Patch. I have 1 completed mitten. Now I have to do the other one, which I'll talk about later.
It's a very nice looking mitten. I like how
It
the colors
is.
came out.
The variegated yarn turned out really, really well. We will have to link to the pattern, because for the life of me, at this instant in time, I cannot remember what yarn I used. I got it on sale, which, is a big deal, but I'd say it's got a black, gray, white colorway.
Brown in there too.
Yeah, there's some brown in here too. It looks really pretty. I'll post the photo of this one mitt, ends not woven in and all, onto my project page, onto my Ravelry page. So that'll help a whole bunch. I've also spat out some more dishcloths for grandmother's favorite dishcloth pattern. I just literally have to weave in ends and post photos for those 2 as well. I did 3 of them. Diana has absconced with 1, which is totally fine. I have to make like 50 billion more. The yarn for this is literally mystery yarn.
Mystery cotton.
Mystery cotton yarn. I bought Michaels will do these bagged of yarns, which is like yarn ends or yarn bundles where the tags have fallen off. So they put them together as close as they can and sell them in bags for like $7. So I got a bunch of these small little cotton rounds, and they're blue, green, and I'd say a bluey gray color. Striped pattern, so I've just been making dishcloths out of them because everybody likes a homemade dishcloth. My sister's seen that I've been making dishcloths, and she was like, hey, I could use some dishcloths. My mom, hey, I could use some dishcloths. I'm just waiting for my grandmother to come down to say, hey, I could use some dishcloths. So I'm preemptively making extra dishcloths, knowing that this is going to happen.
That's smart. Hey, are those machine washer dryerable? I guess you probably don't know.
Yes. I would imagine. I don't see why not. It's a straight up cotton.
Okay. Cool.
I machine wash and dry my other cotton dishcloths just fine.
Awesome.
Worst case scenario, I make another one when the colors fade. Oh no.
I was thinking in terms of like, will it shrink into something the quarter the size that it is now?
No, I don't think so. I doubt
Okay,
it. Yeah,
good.
No. Again, it's mystery yarn, so. I could be wrong. Experiment. But no, I doubt it. I imagine you'll get a little bit of shrinkage, but it wouldn't be too much. Which is fine. What else have you been working on?
I, as always, have been working on my sock, which I'm in fact working on right now.
Woohoo!
It's so close to being done. I have like, I don't know, another inch and then the cuff and then I'm done. And that's done the pair.
Oh, so yeah, because that's the second sock.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So that's a pair of socks for my dad out of this brown self-striping something Dutch or German that I'm not going to try and pronounce because it's something like woolen socken in forest color.
I really like that woolen sucking.
It's brown self-striping sock yarn.
Mm-hmm. No, that's totally fair. I have been working, as always, on my Boneyard shawl by Stephen West. It is very quickly becoming my travel knit project. It goes with me a lot of places. It's a very tight weave, so it's not meant to be a fluffy shawl. It's meant to be a really nice flat pattern shawl, so that ridge detail shows up really well. So I don't get a lot of work done on it. I'm actually got only 2 more rows completed on it. So it's a slow going project, but it has become my go everywhere project. Not that I did any knitting when we were at school or when we went to the book fair, but this was certainly in my purse, just in case I had a moment. That was going to happen. What else have I been working on? No, I have a lot of stuff I've started. The only other thing I've really worked on is the Red Heart Knit-Along shawl.
As have I.
Because I know it's the textured triangle shawl. It's a free Red Heart pattern, and we're doing it as part of the Marley Bird Knit-Along, which you can find on Facebook and all sorts of places. I'm doing it in a white Soft Essentials Red Heart yarn.
I'm doing it in Red Heart Soft Classic, which is worsted weight instead of bulky, because I liked the colors better, and I decided I wanted to stripe the sections, so I have the colors Dark Leaf and Wheat.
And when they're done, we have to take pictures together, because those are going to look amazing beside each other.
Yes.
Mine's also going to be significantly larger, because it's a big, bulky weight yarn.
Gonna be so fluffy.
It's gonna be so fluffy. Super glad I have them on the long cabled needles. Definitely need to do that. I cast it on a bunch of stuff, and when I mean I cast it on a bunch of stuff, I mean it's literally on the needles and I have the startup rows done. That's it. They're not even ready to transfer to circulars yet. Anybody who doesn't know, I start my knits on flat needles. It helps prevent twisted stitches for me, because again, if I have a bad focus day or if I'm not super paying attention, it's easy for me to twist stitches and miss things. That's a visual loss thing, so that's fine. I don't mind. It just means it's easier to start any project on a flat needle if I can do it, and then transfer them to the circular needles after the startup rows and a bit are done. So I have started turning the really seriously annoyed grapes into a shawl. Super excited about that. I'm doing the Stormy Sky Shawl pattern by, Life is Cozy. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's an asymmetrical one, so you're starting at one corner and going to the end, which means I get to make it as big as I want it to be.
Nice.
So I get to utilize the yardage in my yarn quite well and make myself a really giant fingering weight shawl. If you haven't noticed, I love the words giant and shawl put together.
I hadn't noticed.
I don't think I'm going to be one of those people that has a bunch of small shawls. I'm going to be one of those people with a bunch of big shawls. So that's fine. That's not a problem. Have you been working on anything else, or are we just down to my crazy levels of casting on now?
It's down to your startitis.
Great. I also started the High Tea wrap by Stephanie... I want to say Sheeman? I've mispronounced that. I am so sorry, love. Shiman. It's a red variegated yarn that I'm using for it, which is going to be super wonderful and fiery. It's going to be so good.
I lost track of which shawl that was going to be already.
That's the High Tea shawl, so that's the one with the,
right.
that you saw this in the blue, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's got a really basic sort of mesh garter pattern in amidst some, or mesh pattern instrument some garter. So in that variegated yarn, it's just going to pop really nicely.
That's going to look really good.
And again, it's going to be ginormous, because that's how I do things. It's a thing. And I finally casted on the Honey Winter shawl by Andrea Mallory. Woo! Look at me go! Literally cast it on and did the startup rows. That's all I've done.
That's the important part, right?
I did my swatch.
Good.
I did my swatch. That's in the Regal yarn in the Briar Rose that you gave me, which is a wool yarn. So that is all the things I have left on my needles. I got a couple of projects to talk about that aren't on needles right now because I'm very grumpy with them.
Oh no, they're having timeouts?
They're having timeouts, but that's in a later segment. But that's it. Don't be shocked if next week that list has grown or I worked on other projects. I'm still trapped at home, so I spend a lot of my time listening to books and podcasts, which I've added more to my list. Watching really cheesy 90s television, which I own DVDs of, and or on Netflix, and watching Diana stream. Like a lot of my life is sitting and watching things and knitting. So we are done with our woolly workings, which of course leaves yarn on the go. Since this is our wonderful catch-all section, what yarn on the go do you have?
My yarn, goed. It went.
It went.
It went
Okay.
with me to International Tabletop Day last Saturday.
Woohoo!
We did some gaming at Chris's friend Dave's house.
Nice.
And so while we were there playing games, Dave's parents were there, and his mom was also knitting. So I was sat there knitting my my sock, and she sat there knitting a dishcloth
Woohoo!
as we played like code names and stuff. So that was kind of fun.
I had a romantic night in buying groceries and watching Netflix.
You know what? It sounds like a pretty good night.
It was. There was a lot of fruit because my goodness, we were hungry when we got to Safeway, so we bought a lot of fruit, which is mostly gone now because of the eating of the fruit and the tastiness. My yarn on the go has been yarn traveling in purses and not doing anything, and an extraordinarily large amount of time adding new podcasts, new blogs, and new groups to my Ravelry paging. Because nothing says being productive like buying half a dozen patterns while they're half off.
I mean, that does sound like a good use of time and resources.
It really is, especially being Canadian. What is the average cost for us for a pattern? $7 to $9, as opposed to $4 to $6.
Yeah.
So it's when I'm able to get those at half off, I'm super happy to kind of go a little hog wild on it.
When you're working on 70 cents to the dollar.
Yep, I ended up paying 27 or 28 American, and I paid just under $40 Canadian.
I didn't realize our dollar had tanked quite that bad.
I was super happy to get those at half price. It's only until the 5th of this month, so it'll shortly after this podcast goes up, the sale will be done. So I might recommend you get on there and take a look, my dear. Because what are we at today? The 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, the podcast will go up on the 4th, which means it's done on the Friday, which is the 5th. So it's not that long. Oh, there's some really nice patterns. A lot of them I'd had in my cart in my queue for like, I'm going to say a hot minute, which is generally my way of saying an indeterminate amount of time that's long.
Why is it a hot minute and not like a cold minute?
I don't know, but it doesn't sound right when it's a cold minute. It just sounds better when it's a hot minute. It's like when you say you haven't done something in a coon's age. How long is a coon's age? I've never actually looked. But it's, the Ravelry designer is Elena Nodel, so it's Elena, and then Nodel is Nodel. So she has her half off till the 5th of May. I have to thank the Knitwear girls for letting me know about that. I think it's because of some health issues she's been having. Mm-hmm. So I get to sort of help with that, and I'm able to sort of assuage my guilt and not spend $80 Canadian on patterns in one go.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, okay, it's a win-win. I don't mind doing that, and I'm able to help out. And it's not a huge help, but I'm able to help some, so I feel good about that. So. And there's, a couple of cardigans. There's a shock. Cardigan patterns that I've always wanted. So, hey, she does knits for little people. She does some really cute knits for little people. My little person to knit for is not so little anymore, being an extra small human now. So you still have little people you can knit for.
This is true.
Yeah. So that's my yarn on the go. We'll definitely have mentioned we're going to Wolseley Wool tomorrow for a Shibui?
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 I think that's how you say it.
Yarn thing.
It said yarn party.
Yarn party.
So I think you just get to go and try out some shibui yarn.
Yeah.
Sounds like kind of like, I don't know, Banjo and Kazooie.
It
Shibui.
does. It's really pretty to touch, so I can't wait to sort of get to play with it and knit on it and see if I like it as much knitting with it as I do just feeling it. Which makes sense. And of course tempt myself into buying more needles and more yarn because bending my rubber arm.
Yep.
If they have that hedgehog fibers in that like lime electric green color, I might need to buy a skein of that. I don't know why. I just really feel like I need that in my life.
It is really nice stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or some fairy fart yarn. God, it just really amuses me. It's all about the names for me, I'm discovering. A really well done name and I'm hooked.
Yes, I am a fan of good names.
Good names.
Fiberflubs.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I go first with my live on the air fiberflub?
That was hilarious. Please go first with your live on the air fiberflub that I witnessed because I was watching.
So I was streaming on Twitch and I'm working away on the textured triangle shawl. La 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 la. Get to the end of a purl row, only to realize that I'd knit across the whole row. This wasn't a difficult fix. It was just really stupid. I wasn't paying attention and I knit across the purl row, so I had to tink back.
It's one of those things that happens, my dear.
Has your knitting been behaving?
Oh, heavens no. Why would it behave?
Well, that would be boring and we'd have no podcast fodder.
Well, it's because I also choose to knit in dark colors. I am, what is it, like 1 or 2 points shy on the scale for being legally blind. What do I knit in? Navy blue!
That
Why?
sounds like the best idea.
I make amazing life choices sometimes. That color choice was one of those amazing choices. Now, admittedly, I bought this yarn 2+ years ago, so my sight was better then. It's definitely faded in the intervening years. It's a Cascade 220 Superwash in a navy blue, and it's going to be making a cardigan. It's currently on timeout because it can't figure out how to cast on properly.
Because it can't figure it out.
No, it's completely the yarn's fault.
Right.
It misses stitches and it won't knit up properly. It's entirely the yarn's fault.
Right.
And I, of course, have to start with the back piece because that's where the pattern says to start. And I'm a big believer in following your pattern and reading it all the way through. I don't always do that, but I will always tell people to read it all the way through.
Like many things.
Like many things. And I understand that, in my mind, sleeves will go faster because it's smaller. Which is less fabric. It'll feel like they take forever because I'll be knitting them for hours on end, but I'll be able to complete a row a lot faster than I will, say, the back of a cardigan for myself.
Yes.
So that's fine, and I'm not afraid of seaming because that's a lot like sewing, so that's okay. So I've frogged it already, and the needles are sitting there naked, and the yarn's sitting beside it, and I'm like, no, until you behave, this is not going to work. So what did I do this past year when they had the great big Black Friday sale at Woolsey Wool? I bought black yarn. And I know better now because my vision has gotten worse.
Good life choices.
Oh, poor life choices, but it was pretty and it was on sale and it needed a home. So I did the first finger, the Happy Hands fingerless mitts is done. So I cast it on the second mitt. I'm like, don't lose momentum. Get the second one on, get going. It's a free pattern, and the first chunk, or your cuff edge, is done in a broken rib pattern. I love the look of the broken rib pattern. I'm not enjoying knitting it, so I think like once I'm done, I don't think I'll do that cuff again. Like I'll do a different cuff, which is a good way to experiment, but I'm not enjoying the knitting process of the broken rib pattern, so that's okay. Some people don't like seed stitch. Some people don't like plain knit. Everyone's got a thing. So I am done the cuff. And I look, and I slipped a stitch around row 2.
Oh.
Well, many swear words later, much exasperation, and a text at Diana going, bah, slip stitch! I have to undo 2 inches of a knitting pattern I'm not particularly fond of, and start all over again. So it's currently sitting on my couch, dejected and alone, because I refused to deal with it at 11 o'clock at night, and I got up and went to bed instead.
Sounds like a reasonable solution to the problem.
That was my thinking as well, too. But the first one turned out so well that I'm like, nope, get a pair, be done with it. There's a couple of straight up stocking knit stitch pattern ones. There's one that has a really long one and compensates for the curl up that you get in the stocking knit stitch that I'm really like, I think I'm going to do those next. Because those look like a nice heavy duty one. And I've got, yarn in a worsted weight so I can make them nice wintry ones. If you can hear the birds in the background, it's coming to you via the open window because it's gorgeous outside.
It smells nice outside.
Oh, it feels like spring is finally here.
Yes.
I mean, if anybody can hear the change in the tone of my voice, spring is here. Like, my allergies are full steam ahead and away we go. But it feels like spring now. Not like it could be spring, maybe?
No, it is definitely spring.
It's gotten to that point where I've been like, I'd rather go out for walks and do things until mosquito season starts in a couple of weeks. And then I'll be fine being inside again all the time.
Mm-hmm. It'll be too hot by then anyway.
Oh, my province. I love you. And twice a year, I regret living here.
Let's get back to the events.
So, we have added a random thing to our list. Wolseley Wool has decided to do a Shibui party, and we're going to go to that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So next week we will have a random extra bonus. Hey, we went and did a thing.
Tomorrow here being 1 or 2 days ago, depending on when the podcast comes out.
When the podcast goes out on Thursday, it will already be a past event.
Yes. So the thing tomorrow that is actually yesterday.
Yes, that is Future Us. We'll be technically speaking about past us and insert all of the complications of time travel here.
We can talk about it in the future pluperfect past.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out grammar words.
Now you're just spitting out English.
I don't know if it's English.
I know we're also going to go do Knit in Public Day, which is June the 10th this year.
It is June the 10th this year, which is a Saturday.
Which is exciting. I need to see if we can coordinate things so we can get as many of the Knit Club girls out as possible. And actually, while we're at the yarn store tomorrow, we should see if they have any official events that they're trying to line up for the day too. What else are we going to do this year?
Well, quite presently.
Quite presently?
At the present moment,
Ah.
we are doing the Red Heart Texture Triangle Shawl Marley Bird knit along.
We are.
That's an event going on this month.
Woohoo! Have you posted anything in the Facebook thread?
I have posted precisely nothing because I haven't taken any pictures because it was dark when I started.
Fair enough. I'm going to finish section 1 and probably get my photo posted in the next couple of days. I'd say Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, I probably
I have
won't even get
I have
a
an
picture
audio
today.
podcast or something to edit here today when we're done.
Yeah, I probably won't get a picture in today, maybe tomorrow.
That's possible.
Yeah, because the light's good in that room around noon,
Okay.
being a south-facing window.
Yes, being a south-facing window. So we've got that going on, and that goes on till the end of May, which puts us into...
Stash Dash!
Woohoo!
Which is starting May 26th? 27th?
27th, I believe.
27th is
yeah.
the Saturday.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
it goes till the August 27th. Or 21st?
Goes to sometime late August.
I was just looking at it the other day, and I was like, remember that date. So clearly not remembering the date.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, let's do that.
But Stash Dash, May 27th.
Which is important. Because heaven knows I've been adding to my pile, so I need to work on getting rid of my pile. I love that it's definitely a term, if you've never heard of Stash Dash before, it's definitely a wonderful way to either challenge yourself or be challenged by friends in friendly competition to complete works and projects or just sort of really work through some of the stuff you've collected and bought over the course of the last however many years you've been knitting, however many months you've been knitting, or hours, depending on how new of a knitter you are. Super cool. I love that crocheting counts, weaving counts, spinning counts. So there's a lot of open fibering that you can do for it. I don't know if they have the rules updated for this season or not. I have not watched the girls yet this week. They hadn't, the upload hadn't gone through this morning when I looked, but I was looking pretty early this morning, so I will probably watch tonight or tomorrow, which is totally cool. And we should have some clarification on if there are any rule changes for it.
And as always, as soon as there's a live rules page, I will link to it in the show notes. Also to the Knit Girls video cast.
Of course, they're wonderful video casts. They're a delightful pair of girls. I think they're crazy for doing that many socks, but I am not a sock knitter.
Oh, just you wait.
I've got a pair of socks casted on, so I might be a sock knitter, and I just don't know it yet.
Closet sock knitter.
Closet sock knitter. I do need to try it because I don't know if I'll enjoy it or not. So I am always the do something first before you say whether or not you like it or don't like it. But otherwise, what else we got going on this year? We got some conventions we're just going to go to just cause and take our knitting.
Yes, so we've got Icon on June 21st to 23rd.
Woohoo!
Which is the local anime convention.
June or July?
July. Did I say June?
You said June.
I meant July. And then we have C4, which is Central Canada Comic Con, coming up in October. That is the October 27th to 29th.
They've started releasing guest announcements. Did you ever watch Star Trek The Next Generation?
Not really.
Tasha Yar is going to be one of the guests.
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
I'm so excited! I might be a Star Trekky person!
Oh, the Manitoba Fiber Festival.
That would be the other thing we're doing.
Yeah, that's in September 15th and 16th, last I checked.
Woohoo! We get to go see all the indie dyers, which I'm so excited about.
So I'm trying very hard not to buy any more yarn until the Fiber Festival, unless I happen to need more worsted weight to do more squares.
But yeah, the Granny Square project is
that hardly counts, because that's like $10 of yarn every few months.
Yeah, that's not much. I think you're amusing. I have absolutely no such restrictions on myself. I know better. The moment I say I'm not allowed to do something, that's when a whole chocolate cake comes home. So, it's... No.
Well, I also have a wedding to pay for, so...
I do not have a wedding to pay for.
I should maybe, not spend ridiculous amounts of money. Also, given that I'm unemployed right now. Much as I want the three $30 skeins of white silk linen with purple splotches, I really don't need it.
I'm the wrong friend to ask. I'm just going to tell you to buy it.
That's why I'm not asking anything. I'm simply stating that I want it, and okay. I'm not going to buy it.
Alright, because I would state, take my money. That's fine.
All our events?
Well, we have so little time.
Oh, yes.
We are done events, though. The events are finished. That is all we have at the moment, till we add more.
You've been sewing.
I have been sewing. Because of the weight restriction, my sewing machine is it's not a featherweight. It's got a little bit of weight to it. So I have to have somebody put it on the table for me to use. Because I can't pick it up and move it right now on my own. Which is fine. My sister came to my rescue and put it on the table for me last night. Which was great. So I got some bag patterns cut out. And they're all ready and pinned and ready for some sewing and pressing. So I should have some new project bags. And possibly a purse finished by the end of the week. Because I've got that all cut out and pinned and ready to go. So
nice.
I am literally ready to sit down in front of my machine and make it go vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom. Sewing machines are loud, man.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, they're loud to me.
Having not been around a working sewing machine, like, in many, many years, I don't think I've actually sat next to a sewing machine while it's running. Ever.
Huh.
In my life.
We can change that after the podcast. I got a piece of scrap, check my tension, and we can sew some straight lines, and you can sew on a sewing machine if you'd like.
Ooh.
We can totally do that. I will have some new project bags, which is good, because as fun as the project bags I have are, I need more or fewer projects. Since it's looking like the fewer projects is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's never happening.
I'm going to make myself some project bags, so that'll work. And, of course, a couple of new purses, because that needs to happen, too. But that's it for my so little time this week. I'm not quite up to the point where I'm doing dresses and stuff, though that'll be shortly. Because I need to make myself more clothes. Actually, I need to justify going back down to Mitchell's before it closes and buying a whole bunch more fabric. Is what I need to do, so gonna have to sew some stuff. And then go to Marshall's and buy more fabric, because I want space fabric.
I want a skirt that has space and a skirt that has dinosaurs.
I'm totally game. I think that
'Cause
needs to happen.
The Blame Betty store has dinosaur dresses, but they super don't come in my size.
Oh no! So we'll have to
I mean,
learn how
nothing
to...
does come in my size, so I'm not really surprised.
Hey, it's a thing that we can teach you how to make garments, and then you can make your own clothes, and then you can make clothes in your size.
Because my boobs are 2 sizes bigger than the rest of me.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
Yeah, I know. One lady in that one store was demonstrating the size of your waist, and I was like, oh, I want to be that dainty.
I didn't even feel terribly dainty.
And I came home and I complained to Mr. B that my ribcage was too big. I was like, why can't my ribcage be tiny and dainty? He's like, because you'd look ridiculous. I'm like, thanks, man. You super understand girly emotions. Men. Is it time to do the book review?
Yes, we can do the book review, about which I am super excited about angels and knitting, and I don't know. No, I haven't quite had enough coffee. I'm not articulate.
You're not articulate? So sewing is going to be all the energy, is it? Excellent. Which works. So why don't you start off by telling everybody what book we're going to review today?
Bring my notes over here. This week we are reviewing Angels, A Knitter's Dozen by Gerdine Strong. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right.
This is the best guess I got.
It retails for $15.95 US and $23.95 Canadian, and we have 2 copies of this book because we both own this book, because we found 2 copies of it at the charity book sale last fall.
I went, oh my god. And neither one of us was like, we'll share. We're just like, we're buying our own. Which, if that doesn't give you a biased opinion of what we're going to think of this book, I don't know what will.
It's a super cute book containing 7 patterns for lace knitted angels.
They're so cute!
They're freaking adorable. I would like to give props to the very first page in this book. After the table of contents, it just kind of states all the answers to all the questions you might have about this book. Like, it's for intermediate knitters, but I don't knit lace. And it answers that. But I don't know how to use double point needles. We cover that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And then, but I know all that. Great, this book is for you. And it even has a bit, but I want to give an angel to a friend who golfs instead of doing fiber crafts. And then it talks about where you can find appropriately sized accessories if you want to make a golfing one, or a hockey one, or an anything else one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got the versatility into it. I believe I flipped to the first pattern and went, sold!
Yes, the knitting angels the first one is knitting her own wing.
Second wing knitting angel. Yeah, she's literally knitting her own wing.
Which is adorable, and the other one is knitting a gold wing for, I think, the story with this one is she's knitting a wing for one of the higher up angels.
Mm-hmm. They're just so pretty and delicate and beautiful. But yeah, no, the gold wing knitting angel I'm at the point with this book that I'm pretty sure, even though it's going to be difficult at the size ratio they give for the lace knitting, with my vision, obviously I'll be doing it in white because they just look stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to knit my way through the whole book. I'm just going to say it now. I want to knit the entire book.
I enjoy that they have, I just realized, both written and charted patterns for all the bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm. I
So
love that it's written and charted.
If charts aren't your bag, then there's written instructions.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's the skein holding angel and the ball winding angel.
I know! I also love those. Those are so cute.
I have to make all of these. They're going to be so pretty. And then put them out as decorations and go, what did I do to myself? Because I need more stuff somehow.
Obviously.
The charts look really well done. Having not cast it on, so I haven't actually tried out the charts yet.
They look good.
Mm-hmm. There's a rug hooking angel and a spinning angel. Gah. I will never probably do rug hooking. I'll never say never, but probably never.
I mean, really, you can take the skirts and the wings from any angels and put them together however you like.
Yeah, I could do the spinning one. Super cool. I'm thinking with the one that's doing the rug hooking, maybe painting with the right
Yeah.
size accessories. My sister would like that. The crocheting angel needs to happen because I crochet.
I enjoy that she's crocheting her own halo.
I love that she's crocheting her own halo. I think that's freaking adorable. The weaving angel I think needs to happen because that looks super cute too. They're not hard, like the basic body structure itself. They're all sort of got the same bell body shapes, slightly different patterns on some of them. They all have the same head construction, shoulder construction, torso construction. The wings have different positions and stuff, but they all seem to be apparently really relatively similar or match the lacework pattern of the bell at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Mr. B and Chris's mom, the embroidering angel.
Yeah, I had that thought.
Yeah.
This one has
She's an award-winning
embroiderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be super cute.
Yeah, that would be adorable.
Mm-hmm. The quilting angel I think has to happen because that's just, again, they're not over the top. The angels have a lot of detail pieces to them and work, but they're not gaudy. They just look delicate and like something you would see on a Christmas tree, or you're just like,
I'm definitely
that's
thinking
really,
Christmas decorations,
yeah, it's
presents.
really pretty and dainty and lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it and think, oh my heavens. Now, I mean, obviously you could do it in a super gaudy yarn and then I think, oh my heavens. But
just in the simple white.
no, it looks beautiful in just a simple white. I like the traditional angel. Again, nothing fancy, but just gorgeous. And because it's charted and done out in the row count, you could size this up if you wanted to make one of these a tree topper.
I think this one is supposed to be a tree topper. This one, oh yes, the traditional angel is 9.5 inches high.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be that hard to scale up
Mm-hmm.
the knitting angels to be larger if you wanted to.
So pretty. Oh, I had made a point about on the traditional angel, there's the little blurb at the top, making sure that the points of her dress are stretched to the same length. Otherwise, as my husband says, your angel will lean in an unholy manner. I thought that was cute. You can't have your angel leaning in an unholy manner.
No drunken angels here, people. Make sure your angels are standing up straight. Man. But no, it's just, oh, they're so pretty. Now, obviously, you have to like angels.
Well, yes, but I mean, who doesn't like angels?
Angel decorations. I'm sure there's people out there who it's not their thing, and that's fine. If it's not your thing, then don't make them.
But they're so cute.
I love the angel bells.
I also really enjoyed the bells. I might need to make a few bells.
I might do the bells without the noisemakers in them. I live with a 10-year-old. That's a self-defense mechanism kicking in there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick you.
Oh, that's fine. I just, I like the bells because it's basically you make the skirt of an angel.
Yep.
And I'm not so big on the detail finishing work on stuff. So I figure I will actually finish bells if I don't finish an angel.
The detail work will eventually start to get to me because there's a fair bit of finishing detail stuff in this. Like, it is not for people who will do the pieces and not put it together. And even I don't have a problem with finishing work. Even I'm going to be like, oh man, by the time I'm done. Because I'll do it because it has to be done, but it's not my favorite. I enjoy that the book has how to assemble an angel.
Yes,
All
you make
in
all
one
these
section.
make all these pieces and then it's like, okay, well, what do I do with this bit?
They've got a row of photos so they show you
Yes, that is very
each diagram
helpful.
as you go down so you can visualize how it goes together, which is going to make making them a lot easier and putting them together a lot easier. They got a section for lace basics, which is great. Not everyone's going to pick this up and know how to lace knit. The School for Angels is, again, they show you all the basics. And, okay, you need to know how to do these things. This is great. They have the pictures. That's helpful. I usually end up going to YouTube because I find the flat photos don't help me quite so much as watching somebody do it. But you can learn off the flat photos, that's fine. And then the hang tags for angels and bells.
I was slightly unclear what the hang tags were.
So you can hang them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not a problem. But yeah, like, it's just, if you like angels and you like pretty little decorative things, done. Obviously we do because we both own our own copies of the same book.
It was $2, says the cover of my book.
Yes, well,
So-
we also got to support the Children's Hospital while we were at it, so
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to begrudge the $2.
I think I said earlier that there were 7 patterns in it. I lied. I don't know where I got the number 7.
Randomly?
Yeah, there's 12 plus the bell patterns. I
So
don't
yeah,
know where I
there's
got
a
the number
lot.
7.
Oh, heavens, I have all sorts of Facebook messages.
So yeah, super cute little book. Obviously we like it because we both bought it.
Yes, we did. Oh, man. It's one of the first books that I've gotten that I brought home where I've been like, I want to make everything in this book. I don't know how long it'll take me, but I want to make everything in this book. First step, finding myself a nice white yarn that I want to make it out of.
Have fun.
Step 1. Step 2. Going, God, what have I done to myself? And deciding whether or not I want to increase the size of them to make it easier to make.
I'm sure they'd still be adorable if they were a little bit bigger.
Well, I'll probably end up swearing at them less if they're just a little bit bigger, I suspect. Which is
Possibly.
not the pattern, it is not the project, it is strictly an eyeball issue. But yeah, overall, if you run across it or you find it somewhere, like, pick it up. It's a really cute book. So pretty. Now I just want to knit angels. But I'm not starting Christmas stuff till July. Because that seemed like the month to do Christmas stuff.
It's the perfect month to do Christmas stuff.
Well, I don't want to be knitting Christmas presents in December. Bah!
No, I want to Grinch along this year. No Christmas presents in December.
Oh, I'd love to participate in the Grinch along. That'd be much fun.
I was totally going to do that this last year, and that didn't happen.
Well, there was that mitten. That you still have.
Yeah, I know.
I really shouldn't poke and make fun of you, considering, like, I can walk as fast as most little old ladies right now.
Oh no, you're a good deal faster than some of the little old ladies.
I would win
around.
a foot race against an 80-year-old. Woohoo!
You don't even need a walker.
Oh, I did the first week I came home.
Well, yes, but again, surgery.
I had surgery. Yep, that's a thing. But that's it. We're done and good, my dear.
I think so.
Whew. All right, Diana, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us on Ravelry, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook as Northern Knits Podcast. You can also follow our blog, northernknitspodcast.com, where we keep all of our show notes. And if
Extensive show notes.
Yes, I'm very proud of our extensive show notes.
Oh, it's so handy.
We also, if you would like to contact us, you can send us an email at northernknitspodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. You can also find us individually. I am under the tagline Amber Dragon, Dragun. Most places I can be found on Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat. I'm not done. Ravelry, Instagram, Periscope.
Have you missed any?
Facebook and Gmail, but those are under my name. Google Plus is under my name too.
Google Plus. Nobody uses that.
Crazy people do. One of the book clubs that I'm in used Google Plus for a while at the beginning, which is why I got Google Plus. They moved over to YouTube now. I'm on YouTube too. I missed one. I'm on YouTube too. There you go. I think I have everything now. And I have a couple of blogs, and once you found me once, I'm working on getting everything linked so you can find everything else easily.
Okay, well, I'm many fewer places. You can find me on Instagram and Twitch as Fire, Water, and Fiber. That's fiber spelled Fiber. And I think that's it for my social media. Oh, and I'm Ravelry. I'm on Ravelry as Wool-Rat.
It makes me sound like I'm just like completely bought into social media. Like I drank the Kool-Aid, guys, and it was tasty. Ah, they all have different purposes and different functions, and some I rarely use, and some I use not in the appropriate way. Like, I use Snapchat as a private video messenger. I don't actually ever post anything on my story ever. I just send you and NRED messages all the time.
That's all I use it for.
Oh,
I
goodness.
don't get Snapchat.
It's a thing.
The
Whatever.
filters are fun.
Yeah, it'll help you keep up with the things that we do anyway. Should you also be a social media person, please feel free to talk to us. We would love to have a conversation. I am awake at all strange hours, being that I work for myself, so the replies are, don't judge the time zone replies, because I could be replying to something at 6 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, or 3 a.m. It just depends on how my workday has gone for me. So, until next week, I am Jocelyn,
And I'm Diana.
saying no matter where your week takes you,
Don't
forget
forget
to
to
knit. Yawning.
Hot coffee, still hot. This brought to you by the Department of Tautology Departments. No, wait, that was the Department of Redundancy Department.
It's the Department of the Redundancy Department, yes,
Yeah.
but
I think it's friends with the Tautology Department.
hot coffee, fresh from the coffee press, and the boiled water will be hot, yes.